Greetings, this is Artie from Artifact Electronics. This is part 3 of our Williams Terminator 2 Pinball Repair/Restoration series. And I went ahead and I stripped the playfield. And I figured I'd show you how clean all of these parts are. There is the dirt of years on them. I mean, look at this thing. Look, I found a clean spot. I mean, this thing wasn't clean ever. Well, it was maybe cleaned when it was new, but not right now. So here's an assortment of the parts that I took off. And then we can walk over and see the majority of the parts over here. And these playfields are usually like an interlocking jigsaw puzzle. You can't always take things off in layers, but because of the way the ramps are put on and stuff, there's stuff passing through each other. But you know, taking off the stuff is generally easy. Just remove as many screws as you can until the part in question comes out. And yeah, that was the easy part. Putting it back together is a different story altogether, but, well, it's a puzzle, it's a challenge, and it needs to be solved. Here's what the playfield looks like in its almost naked glory. With everything gone, so now I can get to all of the rubber rings. Here's a good example of completely dried out. I mean, it takes years for this stuff to dry out like this. You can see a bunch of the light bulbs over there that are completely carbonized on the inside. This is the left side of the playfield that was dark. And I think, yes, you can now see that all of these bulbs are actually burned out. And this is my chance to replace them, clean up, and then start with the fun part of putting the whole thing together. But I thought this would be a good waypoint to show you where we're at. Okay, I think we're in the final sprint. Spent quite a bit of time fixing the playfield, adjusting switches, cleaning it up, and basically making sure that things just worked and there was nothing suspicious looking. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I love video games too, arcade games, but they don't nearly need as much maintenance as a pinball machine. To me, pinball machines are probably a bit more fun than arcade games, but the amount of maintenance required can get to you after a while. I mean, just look at it. Every single piece, there's all of this mechanical stuff, solenoids, the motor assembly, a lot of lights, switches, the flippers. Everything will go bad on these, especially if they're put on location and just left to earn money and nothing ever gets cleaned up, then they end up in a shape that this machine was in. A whole bunch of things. Once I was starting to clean up and test playing it, a whole bunch of other problems cropped up. And just when you think you're done, something else crops up. What you're looking at over there, there's supposed to be a gun handle that's used to trigger the ball, shoot it into play. And that wasn't working right. So I went ahead, took it apart to find what ails it. And after a lot of disassembly, you can kind of see there was a lot of rust in there. You know, hands get sweaty. And this one had a lot of sweaty hands on it. However, the main culprit was the trigger return spring, which is this, or what's left of it, which isn't even the right size. So there's the replacement. That should make the trigger work properly. But there's the actual trigger mechanism, cleaned up as much as I could. And there was a lot of old grease in here that I cleaned out. I have to re-grease it, reassemble this thing, and put it back on the game. And here are a few more bits and pieces that got repaired. Remember I mentioned that one of the pop bumpers seemed to be seized, and my guess was right. This is the solenoid, and if you look through the center of it, you see there's certain obstructions in there. You can't really see what they are. Well, anyway, those obstructions, there's a sleeve going through, a plastic sleeve going through the center, and then the plunger travels in that sleeve. What it looks like happened here is, for some reason, this solenoid got stuck on. These are made for momentary duty, not for constant duty, and it just sat there happily and heated up so much that it melted the sleeve. And then the plunger couldn't move anymore. This was an easy fix. Just replaced the sleeve, put a new, I put a new sleeve into a new solenoid, and it started to work again. Another one, there's a ball saver, so when the ball tries to drain and it's lit, it kicks the ball back into the game. And it was working, but the ball missed, the ball just ignored it. And the best way to illustrate the defect here is to show you what the part is supposed to look like. Basically, the part has a plastic tip, and as you can see, even the metal part is quite a bit longer than this. So how did this happen? Well, it lost the plastic tip, and it kept kicking the ball. And what this is called is, it mushroomed the plunger quite a bit. I guess the ball won, and this thing just kept getting deformed, and it wasn't long enough anymore to kick the ball out. And other things, there's a piece of glass trim here that had a large piece broken off on top, and I could go on and on and on, but the last thing I want to do here is discourage anybody from digging into their own pinball machines. Just be aware. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, takes some money, but most of these parts are available, and it's worth the result. Pinball machines are great. Okay, the time has come to play a real game on this. Fair warning, I haven't played it a lot, so if weird things happen, then we need some more fixing. But hopefully we can get at least through one game. I've taken off the playfield glass because the lights in here reflect very badly off the glass, and you can't see what's going on. You can see things much better this way, but there's going to be a whole lot more mechanical noise from the playfield. So here we go. Ready?
Judgment Day. 1 secured. Hurry up, activated. Get out. Let's go. Go. Get out. Run. Go. Run.
Don't rush me.
Go. Passcode secured.
Whoa!
Take your best shot.
Well,
Take your best shot. Fire at will. Great shot. Vault 2 secured. Get the CPU. Get out. It's payback time. Get that jackpot. Fire at will. Awesome. Load the cannon. Passcode secured. Lock sequence initiated. Hurry up activated. Let's go. Go. Video mode. Go. Run. Go. Video mode activated. Destroy everything. Run. Extra ball. Silent alarm deactivated. Get the extra ball.
How's the road?
Extra ball. Get that jackpot. Fire at will. You missed. Again.
The gun trigger is still a bit squirrely.
Let's hit. Vault key secured. Lock sequence initiated. Get the CPU. Big points. Get out. Again. Get the CPU.
Trying to.
Get the CPU.
I'm trying to.
Load the cannon. Take the best shot. Fire at will. You missed. Get the CPU. Get the CPU.
I know.
back time. Direct hit.
Oh!
You are superior.
Well, I got on the board.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back. So there are still a few issues. The gun only triggers every second time. It's kind of strange. I'll have to investigate that, and at one point it kicked out 2 balls before multi-ball. I don't think that should have happened either. But other than that, everything seemed to work pretty well. So I have to do a little bit of cabinet work on this, and other than that, I think it's ready to go and be played. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, or at least got some entertainment out of it. Was it worth all of this work? For me it was, definitely. It's a fun game. Doesn't have a very deep rule set, but it's still fun to play. Make sure to subscribe. Got a bunch of boards I need to fix. And leave me a comment. I'm always interested to hear what you got to say. See you next time.